Good evening, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and today I'm very glad this evening to have my brother Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Brother Benson.
Yeah.
Just feeling. How about you? It's evening over here.
Oh, okay. We good. We are just trying to make. Do we call it ends meet? Ama tunaita aje?
Benson,
Habari gani?
niko salama.
Mhm.
Labda wewe kwako.
Mi niko salama, siwezi sana kulalamika. Mi nashukuru Mungu juu ya uhai, kwa sababu ametupatia uhai, na kuna wale labda Mungu hakuwezesha kuwapatia, si ati kwa sababu labda walikuwa ama kwamba sisi labda tuseme kwamba sisi ni so special before him, but like we just have to thank God for everything. By the way, we are coming live both in YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok too. So we are going live everywhere. So that's thing. So niambie habari ya uko.
Huku tuko salama, pia sisi tunashukuru juu
Mhm,
Mola ametufanyia vema.
mhm.
Napata ya kwamba watu wengi leo wajaweza kupata hii nafasi, lakini sisi ametukubalia tukapata hii nafasi.
Yeah.
Tuko wazima, tunaweza zungumza, tunaweza cheka.
Mhm.
Sasa pia tunawaombea wale ambayo wajapata hii nafasi, pia wapate tu nafasi kama hii kama inawezekana. Unajua ni mapenzi ya Mungu.
Yeah.
Sasa
It
tunashukuru sana, na pia wale watazamaji wetu ambao wamefika hapa, tunasema tunashukuru Mungu kwa jumla, kwa kila mtu.
okay. Thank you so much. And as I said earlier, we are going live both in TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. And I'm seeing Sugar D is saying that na kucheki. Asante sana Sugar D. Na mi pia nakuona. Um, and on the TikTok, I say that you can follow us on what we are doing because this is Brother Benson, where we discuss issues to do with government, governance, leadership, and entertainment. So we are there. So
Sugar D, Sugar D nakupiki wapi, TikTok ama?
Sugar D ako TikTok. Naona kama ako TikTok. Naona Britney Stella ako TikTok. Kuna Brian 100. 100 also is in TikTok. So I can see we are TikTok. So many of us are there. So and on the YouTube, bado wajatusalimia, but we are all saying hi to wherever you are when you're on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere. So my friend Miguda, today the Catholic bishops came out gun blazing, yeah, calling out the president, especially about the government, how government has been, and they've talked of so many things. Among other things, they've talked of abductions and killing. That is one of them. Abductions and killing. That is one of them. There's also abuse of office. There's also uh, education. They've talked of unemployment, of a taxation of Kenyans. What is your take on what is happening, and what is your take on what the bishops today, or concerning the press that was organized by the bishops?
The Council Bishops of Catholic, they
Yeah.
had a presser today,
Hmm.
and they talked particularly to the government of Kenya, and
Hmm.
they were having some specific issues like abduction,
Yeah.
unemployment, and issue of education. Education, they're referring to maybe the current funding model with the
Yeah.
current regime with
Hmm.
the so to me, it's like these Catholic people or pastors or the so-called council of the bishops or other, they have gone up in
Hmm.
order to bring sanity or in order to bring order in the country, because as things stand right now in the country, we
Yeah.
do not have opposition. But the
Hmm.
government, that's why the government has got laxity to do anything they want. They can continue the abductions. They can continue to implement new funding model. They can continue to not to provide employment opportunity use. So they're like the voice of witness or voice of reason, where they have come in this time of need to talk of things which no one is able to talk right now, because when they talked, it trend. It trend that many people opposed, objected the whatever they said. You have seen people like Oscar Sudi responding to them in a manner that they are doing profile like tribal gang against the regime. So it's
Mm.
like these guys, they have seen that it is in order for them to come out and
Yeah.
be the voice of the voiceless, because there's no one, everybody is not interested to call out this bad governance. That's why I think they come out.
Okay. Thank you so much. And if you're talking about speaking of the voiceless, Kenyans, so many Kenyans are living in Kenya. So many Kenyans have experienced what they are talking about this, and it's not the first time that I would say that we are getting this for the very first time. It has always been questioned about the abduction for quite some times in the media and even in the social media. We've seen pictures of young people being abducted, and they were just asking, who is abducting these young people? That is one of them. Talking about the corruption, you know, that is something that has been there. Is it now too late for them to come and start calling out on this? Yet Kenyans have been complaining about all those they've mentioned for quite some time.
Politically, it is too late, because
Yeah,
we have, as Kenyans, we have called out all these manners of the
yeah,
of whatever is going on, right? Things like abduction, corruption, unemployment, the new funding model. People have been calling them out on social media, on mainstream media, wherever people have gotten an opportunity to speak to the people of Kenya. But there was even a time whereby the religious leaders were condemned by the members of public that they are siding with the current regime, and they were condemned with the members of the public that with them, they are the people who are welcoming this current regime into their churches. They're the people who allowed them to do their corrupt deals in their churches.
yeah.
But Catholic has been sidelined because we have not seen this government going to Catholic churches. So they haven't been interacting so much with the Catholic Church. They have been interacting with other churches. So they have seen it that because with them, they have not participated in the dealings of this government. So they have that mandate to call it out, because they are not beneficiaries of this regime. Unlike
Mhm.
now, they have taken that role to call out all these manners of corruption, unemployment, abduction. But we are saying that it is late, because we have been talking about these things and we have urged them as well as the public that come out, call all these things. They have refused. Now, because they are part of the society, they form part of the society, it is now wise for them to call out all this, so that it's more of a voice of reason that is calling from somewhere else apart from the mass of the public, because there is not that much figure from the government or opposition to call out all these manners of activities going on in this country. So I believe that they have that role as a religious leader, because they form part of the society at large, because the political class have joined forces, they combined. Now they are fighting against oppression of the people. It is now the role of the society, civil society, to come out, a religious leader, to condemn all those activities which are wrong to the people of Kenya. That's why I think they have taken that role. But now I've told you that it has now faced some opposition from the current regime, and the senior bodies in that regime, people like Oscar Sudi, they have profiled them. He was very specific. Muheru, he has been profiled as a tribal figure, because they believe that when they condemn these bad manners in the government, it's
Mhm.
like they're saying the impeached deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, who's coming from Mount Kenya. So yeah, they have been profiled as an of Rigathi Gachagua,
Yeah.
talk of regionalism.
So now, before we go into the main discussion, we are getting what actually Oscar Sudi wrote about. He was very specific on how on the other side he's preaching, and on the other side is eating. What what could be the reason why he was doing that?
Come on.
Oh, you did not get me. I'm 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 talking about Honorable Oscar Sudi. He was very specific and calling out a bishop by his name of being tribal. Yeah. What could have informed Oscar Sudi to do that? And yet he was not the only one who is there.
Yeah, there were council of bishops from Catholic, and
Yeah,
he was not the only one person. The one from Diocese of Nyeri
yeah,
was not the only one. There were so many of them, and in fact, even the person who read the press conference was not him.
yeah,
But Oscar Sudi chose him out of the many because of his alliance or because of his relationship with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. They were buddies with Uhuru Kenyatta, and they
yeah,
are. But during the time they were buddies with Uhuru Kenyatta, remember William Ruto was the deputy president of Uhuru Kenyatta. So by the
yeah,
time Uhuru Kenyatta used to meet that bishop, by the time Uhuru Kenyatta used to go to those functions by
yeah,
of those bishops, they used to be accompanied by deputy president by then William Ruto. So I
yeah,
think they were all buddies. Now because he's coming from the same region from with Uhuru Kenyatta and the same region from the impeached deputy president Rigathi Gachagua,
yeah.
Oscar Sud is now having that gut to talk about profiling him as a tribal leader among the many. So politically, they are still they're trying to tarnish whatever they were saying. They're trying to tell the famous world that there is no abduction,
Yeah.
there's no unemployment, there's no new funding model, there's no corruption. The bishop is just talking on an angle of a tribal figure. So they're trying to tarnish whatever he was saying that no, this guy it does not mean well for the society. This guy is not speaking, is not genuine. This guy has just taken aside as a tribal person from the Mount Kenya region to support one of the impeached one. Now they're going up against the regime. They're bringing, including even the churches. That's what Oscar Sui is trying to bring. So it's trying to make it more of a political season rather than whatever they were trying to point out.
To point out. So, does it mean that this is a diversionary tactics? And before you answer, we have our friend Gibson Corner. Thank you so much for joining. And let's just remind you that yesterday you gave coffee to Mjuku Wabunduki, and it was delivered, and he was very, very, very much grateful for you. And he said a lot of thank you to you. And we are also joined by so many of us in the TikTok too. So we really, really appreciate you listening to us. So does it mean that this is a diversionary tactic? Because, like we know, it has always been a tribal kind of issue that have been in the public domain for the longest time. So because maybe it's coming from the Mount Kenya, that's why like Oscar Sugi feel now you're criticizing this government.
Exactly. It is a diversionary tactic, but I tried to go into details for you to get it very well with our viewers that it is a diversionary tactics. But now Oscar Sudi has viewed it that the people of Mount Kenya,
Yeah,
having their deputy president being impeached, now they are organizing, not only through politically, they're also organizing religiously in the all sectors of societies. Now they are bringing their forces together to condemn the current regime. But to condemn the current regime, they are bringing all their forces, be
yeah,
it church, be it council of elders, be it political leaders. So they are joining forces. That's why Oscar Sudi is trying to tell the people, do not concentrate on whatever he's saying. This is a tribal figure. They have joined, they have ganged up. But the question is, whatever the bishop was saying, or whatever the press was read, is it true? Yeah, we are saying it is true. It's happening. There are abduction. There is corruption. There is unemployment. There is new funding model, which people are objecting, the members of the comrades. So it means that Oscar Sud is trying to divert the attention of the public, not to concentrate on the actual things that are happening, which has been condemned by the leaders from Mount Kenya, by bringing the issue of tribal card. Now we will accuse them that this issue of tribal figure, tribal leaders, they're the people who are driving this agenda, so that members of the public can divert their attention from the real happenings of the country. Now you want people to talk about Mount Kenya, tribal chiefs, tribal leaders, but don't forget the things which were condemned by the Council of Bishops of Catholic.
and as you said earlier, looking at the the press on how it was read, they were talking of issues that are affecting uh, uh, the people of Kenya, because they talk even extension of time limit for the presidency. You know, even though this was the extension was rejected when people voted through public participation, they were rejected. But this war is not over. I'm telling you, there's a way it will find itself. Yeah, because what could have informed member of Senate to bring in a bill that would want to extend the time limits for the elective seats? If 5 years that they've been given, there's nothing that you can show for your 5 years. What are you going to do with the seven? If five, you cannot do anything with five. What about seven?
What I can say about the issue of 7 years term limit, which the member of the Senate
Mm,
wanted to bring that motion to the
yeah.
House, and also the issue of why the war is not over. To me, I believe that right now, political class have succeeded to manage the political temperature of the country, and they have succeeded to divert, to distract the people, to focus on the real issues. They have succeeded to make sure that no one is going to push them to work for them. No one is going to push them for any service delivery. How have they succeeded? They have succeeded because they have now engaged us in the issues of term limit, impeachment. Now people are concentrating about term limit, impeachment, but people do not put the government on toes.
Yeah.
No one is interested. That's why I can say the war is not over. And that's why you find people like the Catholic Council of Bishops have come out to condemn the wrong things they have feel that members of public are cannot call out because of there is no platform for opposition. And right now, it is very clear that the position of the government are one, and they are working. So there is no way even a member of opposition, only some few courageous members like Babu Owino can
Mhm.
come out and call. You know, remember what Babu Owino said during the ODM rally that the Gen Zs who were killed to be
Yeah.
compensated, and
Yeah.
that was not the agenda of that rally. So it was courageous to mention that he condemned the government in the
Yeah.
government rally because ODM now right now is in government. So it was courageous to mention that he can condemn the government in the government rally. But most of the people have joined government in that opposition. Therefore,
Mhm.
members of Catholic, I don't know how this part viewing it that it is a tribal figure, but that council members, it is not composed of only Kikuyus. There are Luos there. I think, there are even Kalenjins in that composition because the council bishops cannot be only Kikuyus of Catholic. We are diverse as a country, and there are many people in that composition. Therefore, I believe that this issue of distracting people,
Yeah.
not to focus on the real issues about service delivery, the government have succeeded to distract the people of Kenya. Right now, what the Catholic Church are trying to bring out, they are trying to narrate the public that let's focus on these real issues. But the question could be,
Yeah.
who is pushing them? Who is behind them? Because they have been around, they have been in town, and no one has been. We have been calling these things on social media. No one has come out to assist much of the public. So it can be politics. So even that can be used in politics. It has
Yeah.
happened in this country, and we understand how even the previous election was handled. Even during the Gen Z movement, it is the church that tried to pull things before the ODM stabilized Ruto's government. So I believe that other than politics, there are also some real issues which the government of the day has succeeded to distract members of the public not to focus on.
Okay. Thank you. There's something that also the bishop said, and Ayaga is saying here. Listen to what Ayaga is saying. We are Catholics. Okay, say we are Catholics. We are alive, and we gonna say the truth. That's Ayaga. Then he says that uh, we, the talking fellow, sometimes we have to go underground to avoid these killers of government. Okay, Mr. Yaga, and the gypsy say that our brave bishops are talking for us, the public who don't have the voice. They are using the platform wisely. Yeah, and they've spoken of things that are affecting Kenyans because they're not new. And there's a statement here that they made about the truth doesn't exist. That's what they say. That if it exists, I quote, then it's on the government. That is now what it says that if the people of Kenya, or like now the bishops who are calling out of this, and based on the response that the Oscar Sudi has done, yeah, that they feel like that is not truthful, it is about tribal. So which means the only truth that is there is when they speak. What the government speak, that it should be the truthful. Do you agree with what the bishops were saying?
I got you. I got you very clearly.
Mm.
I agree with whatever Bishop was said, but now you have heard what Ayaga has responded to the comment because we have said that there is no opposition and there's no platform. But now this council have come out. They have got a very good platform to condemn the government, which is true. That's what they're doing. When you are saying that it is only truth when government speak it out, but
Yeah.
when the other people speak it out, it is not truth. That is, those are the signs of dictators. That's how dictators operate, because they don't believe in whatever somebody is saying. Right now, whatever the Council of Bishops was saying, those are the truth, and we know them. They are in public domain. No one living in this country do not know that there are abductions. There are abductions. There is
Yeah.
corruption. There is unemployment. There is new funding model until even into the Congress. So if they take that platform to condemn all these issues, then a person who is part and parcel of the KK regime is coming out to condemn and trying to tarnish out whatever these guys have said, to an extent of saying that the those guys are tribal. So it's
Mhm.
trying to divert the or distract members of the public, not to focus on the real issue. So
Yeah.
to that extent, I can agree with you that to them they believe that it is only truth when they speak it out. Or like when I was trying to read certain article to this morning
Yeah.
about Meg Whitman, when people were commenting about her serving in the country for those 2 years, uh, activities during the country, you find that some people believe that, of course, she done well in terms of trade between USA and Kenya, and also in terms of marketing. We are not in dispute of that. But there are also some wrongs which she did in the country. But to an extent, the people who are currently in the KK government, most of them believe that everything was okay with Meg Whitman. And even the people who opposed Meg Whitman, when Meg Whitman was trying to interfere with the democracy of the country, who were in the audience at that time, was saying that Meg Whitman was okay. They forgot now Meg Whitman at a point
Yeah.
tried to tell the members of the citizens of the United States of America that do not go to Kisumu because we were waiting for to hear the result from the Supreme Court. So
Mhm.
it means that once you are serving the government and you have the interest in the government, whatever you are doing, it is okay and is the truth. And even when members of the public try to point out wrong things in that government, you are
Yeah.
looking for a distraction, like you are profiling that bishop being a tribal. So the question could be, for the last 10 years, when Uhuru was the president, this bishop was the darling of Uhuru Kenyatta and that Jubilee administration. Does it mean that now, by that time, it was never tribal because Ruto was part and parcel of the Jubilee government? It is now tribal when he tried to come out to condemn the real things on the ground. So I can't take Oscar Sudi seriously. He's playing the politics of the day, and he's playing the politics that once you are in government, everything in government is okay. And anybody try to object to even wrong things in government, that person can be profiled as a tribal, that person can be profiled as a criminal, that person can be abducted, can be those are normal things in politics. So we understand the perception of Oscar Sudi.
Okay. Makobura, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, good evening. I'm okay. I'm doing good. I hope you're also doing good over there.
Yeah, we cannot complain now. We are having a discussion today about the pressure that was done by the Council of Bishops, and they pointed out so many things about the government and calling out on president on very very touchy issues that even Kenyans have been talking about. They were talking about abductions and killing. That is one of them. They were talked about corruption. They talked about abuse of office, the culture of lies, and the truth doesn't exist. Government says, Kenyans have tolerated lie told to them. They've talked about education. They've talked about IABC. They've talked about employment. They talk about overtaxing. When you listen to some of this call out that the Council of Bishops, what is your take?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Before I get into that question, allow me to say thank you to our viewers. I can see Judith Caritha. Thank you so much, Judith, for joining. Eric, thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. And everyone at the comment section, thank you so much for being with us. This is Brother Benson Media, na hapa tunasema your opinion counts.
Mhm.
So acha nitoe opinion yangu pia count. The comment of the bishops,
Yeah.
the Catholic bishops, to me, I agree with their stand as religious, because what they're doing is they're simply trying to bring back the country where it used to be or where it should be. The religious leaders have, in most times, they've played a role in ensuring that they stand with with the lives and the stands of the people. They've always ensured that they fight for the rights. They have always ensured that the government does what is right, because the role of religious leaders and leaders, those who have been given the leadership position, they all their role is almost similar, because as the religious leaders have a role of ensuring that they help their followers, or not, I mean the Christians. There's a specific way that Christianity should behave. So they ensure through that, through the will of God and the teachings of the beliefs of God, the main thing here is ensuring that they teach people so that the people are able to behave in a way that, in a way that I'm getting some,
Echo?
yeah. Okay, it's now okay. Yeah. So I'm saying that they have a role of ensuring that they teach, therefore, I mean, the Christianity, what Christ did, and to somehow live a life that is faithful to God. So it is similar to what leaders are supposed to do, because they're all fighting to ensure that the livelihood of humans get to a point where uh, you know where the whole goal of Christianity is. So the leaders, the political leaders, have the same. If they are not really fighting for the rights of the people, then partly they are going against the teachings of Christianity, because Christianity teaches so many things on Christianity teaches so many things on on how to protect the lives. So if leaders are given the opportunity to protect the lives and they're not able to protect the lives, then partly they're not then partly not then following the Christianity role. So the stand of the bishops is a good thing. The fact that they came out and told the president or the people in leadership that they have to follow the promises that they gave, and that the president is answerable to the people of Kenya. Him being answerable means that whatever he promised while he was campaigning is whatever he promised while campaigning, he has to deliver. Allow me to just finish up something here, kindly, kidogo.
Okay, thank you so much. Just fix it and let me know when you're done, so you can come back and fix it for us. Miguda, thank you so much. And let's continue. And this is what Oscar Sudi said. I quote: "It is dumbfounding to see Archbishop Muheria preaching the gospel on the other hand and funding tribalism on the other. Muheria lacks moral authority to criticize the current regime because he is akin to doublespeak. The cleric is on record for backing the past regime, even when it was clear it had failed Kenyans and must be held enough to steer away from tribal politics." That is what Oscar Sudi said. Yeah, talking about tribalism. Judith say they are hypocrites. I think all along the religious leaders have been supporting corruption in church, calling it grace. Now that they are no longer receive those favors, they start condemning the government. What is your take on that?
Actually, I don't know how far the Catholic Church has been in bed with the current regime, but from my observation, whatever I've been seeing, be it in the mainstream media or social media, most of the time William Ruto is going to church on Sunday. Usually not goes to Catholic church. Usually go to these other churches, and I haven't seen him going to Catholic church most of the time. It is only Uhuru Kenyatta who sometimes used to go to Catholic church.
Yeah.
Where I disagree with Oscar Sudi.
Yeah.
Oscar Sudi Oscar Sudi thinks that is the saint, and also why is he talking about someone is preaching the gospel at the same time someone is advocating for tribal bigotry? It means that Oscar Sudi, he doesn't know what he's saying, because whatever was read in that presser, it was about abduction, unemployment, corruption, new funding model. So to Oscar Sudi, those are tribalism. So that's why I don't get Oscar Sudi, because to me those are not tribal words. Those are just things that are affecting the people of Kenya entirely. Even if the people of Kapsai constituencies are also face the similar challenges. So I don't. I think just he was trying to rubbish out or rule out whatever the bishop has said to the members of public, whatever the bishop has said about the current things he has seen in the government. So he was trying to tell the members of public that forget about that guy. That guy is a tribal kingpin or tribal leader. That guy is taking us to the tribal direction where we are out from. That guy is aligning with Gashagwa, whom we impeached previously. That guy is advocating for the regional benefit, which according to me, that was not the press, the statement of the press. The statement was about what was happening in the country. And so Oscar Sudi also, as a member of the cabinet, has that role to defend the regime. And by defending the regime, he was responding to the council of Bishop of Catholic.
Yeah.
So by responding, also I look at it in this angle.
Mhm.
This is politics.
Mhm.
And if you leave the issue of religion out of it,
Mhm.
politics is being played anyhow. There's no mass in politics. There's no saint. So he was responding to them politically, not the way they expect it. Because if they are religious leaders and they have come to play politics and they are pointing out the wrongdoings of the government, so the government also have to deal with them politically, and that's what has happened.
Okay. Makubura, what is your take on what Oscar Sudi has just written on? He just said.
Okay, thank you. Now a little bit okay, and just was just trying to rectify something here. The comments of Hosta Sudi. I think Hosta Sudi is a. Do I call him a dog? We
No,
call
that's
him a dog.
no, that's not good for a leader.
No, I'm not. I'm not referring him, but
Yeah.
politically, the way they've always referred themselves. If you can remember, Junet Mohammed
Uh,
at some point said that they behave like cows,
uh,
and yeah. So I'm not saying he's a dog, but sometimes he behaves. These are just metaphors. Sometimes, like, he's a political dog of one, the president, and if he's sent to back, he has to back appropriately. So that is what happened. And Oscar is a very loud, serious, when he's given a job to do. So it's just right politically to defend a government that he belongs. He's right to defend a president that comes from their place, a president that comes from their political party, and he has all the rights to try to defend by either clarifying or giving reasons well best known to him, because he's been in this government, so he partly understands how the government operates, and he's joined the club of close allies of the president, and so he can sometimes, the same way Junet behaves in ODM. Junet always give us all the information whenever you want to know what is being planned in ODM.
mhm,
Junet will speak it 2 weeks before it comes to pass.
mhm.
So similarly, Oscar Sudi is close to the president, and he has all the rights to defend Mr. President. But something that I want to say is that him saying or talking about the bishops or being tribal or whatever, personally, I'm a Catholic, and what we are being taught in Catholic, and especially those holding the leadership of the Catholics.
Yeah.
For instance, you can know a good example is the bishop. The bishops that we have in Catholics, they're not actually, they can be taken anywhere, any diocese. It is not that if one is maybe a Luo, then he should only serve in Luo land.
Mhm.
You can be a Luo and you can be taken to go serve even in, not even within the country. So him referring or saying that some are being tribal or whatever, no, I don't trust or believe that. The religious leaders that we have in Catholic, they're taught and they know what tribalism, and they know whenever they try to bring tribalism, what it can cause. The whole thing that they always preach is unity, love, the love of one another, and unity of the whole country. And if he specified, for example, Bishop Muheri of Nyeri, I think that is the most vocal bishop who has been fighting, for for the rights of the people. In so many cases, or in many instances, we've seen Bishop Muheria, defending or reminding the people in leadership that you have a role, and he teaches them according to what Christianity, the teachings of Christianity, says. So there's nothing like being tribal. It is just that the religious leaders, through the Catholic Bishop Conference, they have woken up and they've seen that it is truly not okay. It is truly not fair for the political class to neglect their role as leaders. It is not really right for leaders to, speak lies left, right, and center, because when they do that, they even make those who are, you know, in this, those who are Christians to somehow, start question the Christianity and what Christianity teaches. We are being taught that lies is not good, and whenever you see the president moving to different places, promising things that he has never delivered, any person who is interested in either joining Christianity would ask one, two, three questions. If the president is lying that way, and the people who keeps on telling us that they are too close to the Messiah, then me who just want to join this, how am I going to operate? So it is good that partly the religious class have woken up and they've taken their role. My prayer and belief is that they continue, they ceasingly and consistently stand reminding the people in leadership of their role. They consistently remind the government that life is a sacred gift from God that needs to be protected, and the Bible says that as well. And so, under the leadership of anyone, they should first ensure that they protect lives of the citizens. We've been seeing killings left, right, and center, and it is right for the religious leaders, to emphasize and to remind them that life is sacred. They need to protect life. People are dying of hunger. People cannot find food. Basic needs is a problem. It is the right of the religious to remind them that when people are not fed, they will start having negativity. They will start, some of them will start things which are not right, you know. So I applaud what they did.
Mhm.
And to those criticizing, I know the politicians are the one who will be criticizing
Yeah.
just because wameguzwa macho. So they have to react.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda. This issue of lies has always been here, and we've seen some promises that the administration has kept in the next 10 days, in the next few days. On how it used to be said, but it is not actualizing. We've even seen the projects that have been launched, but like they're not kicking off. And now the bishops are calling this one out. Now, what should Kenyans do? Because like it's maybe it has become a norm or a culture of the day.
This lies, we allowed it. Kenyans allowed it to succeed because the past regimes
Mm,
using it. But now with the era of new technology and the era of social media,
mm,
it's very easy to detect those lies and very easy to pass them from one point to another, whereby we can locate those projects. Initially, before the invention of social media, before the invention of I kindly mute. So
Yeah.
before the invention of this new technology,
Mhm.
people used to promise. Let me just give you an example. During the time of Daniel Arap Moi, no one could even inspect those installed projects because when he was sometimes is in Baringo, sometimes it's in Migori, so you will not find time to go and locate for those installed projects. But right now, with this era of social media, it's very easy to detect those lights because we have people on the ground who will go and take some shots, then they will share on the social media. So this issue of lie, the problem is the current leaders we have, most of them are product of KANU, most of them are product of that lie. So it's, at some time in age, you can reach at a certain age, you cannot change your mind. You just live with whatever you have learned from the past. So most of them are a product of KANU, and they're continuing with the whatever KANU used to do. That's why we need new, fresh leaders in the country who can understand that people no longer buy those lies and very easy to take those lies. They're trying to apply whatever the Nazi regime did. In Germany, there was this Nazi party. A Nazi party, there was a certain minister for propaganda. So he wrote and told the people that a lie that is said severally,
Yeah.
it at one point people will believe it to be the truth, but actually it's not the truth. So these people are using that propagandist which was used by Nazi people. They keep telling lies, and no, currently they are being detected, but they cannot stop it because they are product of KANU. They are product of old regime, whereby they learn from their masters that you can just lie to the mass of public and you get away with it. But we are telling them that right now people are advanced, we can tell those lies, and they should stop it because it's embarrassing. They might not see it, but it's embarrassing for the state of them as the president, who's even after being told stop lying, the next minute is lying, continue lying. Even anytime he got the mic, it's just lying. So I
Yeah.
think as a country, we should learn that people no longer buy those lies, and people are advanced. People can detect them, and if you are given opportunity to lead, kindly be truthful.
Okay. Thank you so much. Ayaga, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while now.
Okay, thank you very much. Sometimes in a bid to go underground, I'm happy to see Miguda and Kevin Makubura. I'm happy to see you. I hope they are okay.
Yes, they cannot confirm on their behalf. They will say that.
They will say that.
Yeah, so
Yes, so
I can get
I
echo
can
from
get.
you, Ayaga. Yeah, I can get echo from Ayaga now. Now it's not there. So and you find this issue even with the members of parliament. Sometimes they come to the public and just continue to say some of the things that they don't believe in. Like the other day,
Like the
I
other
hope
day,
Ayaga, check on your device. It's kind of having echo. Some members until today, some members of all members of parliament were not understanding this about she and Sha. Biguda, what is your take on that? And where are we going? And we are seeing suffering from some of the patients. And now in the parliament, they still demand. Yet this thing had already been voted on.
Okay, a minute, kindly, before Miguda comes in. I wanted to say something again on what the bishop said.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing, if you watched the whole thing, the submission by the Catholic bishops, what they did was, I think, one of the best. And it is something that we, the people of Kenya, we've been doing. The Catholic bishops, at some point, they had read these are things, it's just a repetition.
Mm.
And the Bible says that remind them, even if they know.
Yeah.
And that is what I think the bishops are doing.
Okay.
Reminding the government or the people in power of the role that they have to do. what the constitution tells them. It is the best thing. And I think it is right to say, using the same words that, the bishops used,
Mhm.
that there is a lot of unrest among the people, and the people are not happy with what is happening in this government. They have raised this, the people of Kenya have raised this several times, and it is unfortunate that most of the time they fall on the deaf ears of of the political class. The issue of mistrust, as said by the bishops, is a true thing. The people of Kenya have gotten to a point where they don't trust the political class. And whenever you're dealing with people who are not trusting each other, it is so tough, and you cannot expect anything productive out of that.
Yep.
The level of corruptions that we are still seeing in this government is high. And by the words of the bishop, when you say corruption, it is not that you are taking something and not maybe putting it in action, or for beneficial of the people, but even making deals, that is corruption.
On behalf of Kenyan people.
Yes, it is corruption. Anything that is not benefiting the whole country is corruption. And that is one of the things which have raised the mistrust within the people. And the people are concerned. Something that they also said is, the political class that we have here in Kenya, they're the most paid in the world. And that's a fact. Brother Ben, if you try do a calculation of what a Kenyan senator earn, and then
Yeah.
you try do with what a senator in the United States of America earn, you'll not find, like, you'll ask yourself, if you come here in Africa, we at some point we were being told that our legislators are the most paid actually in the whole continent.
Yeah.
And what is it that has gotten out of hand? The level of greed among the political class is on another level. They're the most paid, but still the level of greed in them. Wakiona deal, they want to anything. Wakitaka kujenga barabara, instead of just using the right, the right what amount of money which should be used, they raise it so that they can take part of it. And these are deals which are not benefiting the people of Kenya. They also they're using their position to make others, not get what is needed. Either they use their position to influence so many things. We've gotten to a point where currently in the Republic of Kenya, the PS, almost all the 90% of the PS are coming from one region, just because the president is coming from that region. And that is the things that we, the people of Kenya, we are saying it is not right, because the people in power are using their position to make or to influence even the appointment.
Yeah.
That is widening the level of tribalism in the Republic of Kenya, and that cannot solve even the mistrust that we're having. The greed is on another level. We can't even talk about it. Violation of human rights. We always see them violating human rights. People are being killed left, right, and center. A government that has the responsibility of protecting lives. They're the people who, at some point, being accused of abduction. During the Gen Z demonstration, the government is supposed to ensure that they protect the lives of the young people. What did they do? Some young people abducted. Up to date, they've not been found. And those people have families. They're coming from a family. And the families where they're coming from, those people are also human. They have the same feelings. If it were maybe a child of the president or a child of the prime cabinet secretary, how would they feel? Why is it that some people are being treated as if they are from, some lesser god, and the political class feel like they're the children of the mighty God? That is something that we need to look into. And the bishops are right that these people are misusing the position that they've been given by the people. Instead of humbling themselves before the people and consulting. They're servants. When you're a servant of the people, you have to listen to the people. It is us who are paying these members of parliament or the political class, but they don't respect us.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And I agree with what, and we concur with what the bishop are saying, because everybody lives in the country, and everybody's feeling the um the heat. And they also talked about the health sector. And if you remember very well, it's just 2 days ago, when members of parliament, they wanted to know more about SHA, yet it was something that was voted on. Why is that one so, Miguda? And you see quite a number of Kenyans, when they go to get those services, some of them cannot get those services.
Members of Parliament of the Republic of Kenya, their role is well spelled out in the Constitution, and they understand that whenever they are in that house, they have to legislate the roles they have. And legislation, it means that it should be independently, and even we understand that the legislation is done. There are even stages of legislation before a bill come to a law. So in that house, of late I understand that it is being controlled by outsiders. That is no longer independent the way we know that it should be independent.
Yeah.
The president has captured parliament, and the president has compromised members of parliament, the so-called supermajority. So they're using their supermajority number to pass laws on behalf of the executive, even without some of them going through those laws to understand them, and also to look at the effect to the common mwananchi. And that's why they're in that parliament, to safeguard the interests of the people. That government, that parliament, to ensure that those laws are effective to the people of Kenya. They should not allow laws which are not going to work for the people well, or the beneficiary of the people, to pass to the presidential assent. That's why I'm saying, members of parliament, as things are standing right now, I was perplexed to learn that they were saying some of them never understood what is chief, what is SHA. And remember, these are the people who passed that legislation. So the question could be, some of them did not read it. Some of them, even if you never participated, you have to dissent and write the dissenting opinion so that people can read it. Even we can say, okay, this one of them, with him, he dissented, or her, she dissented, and this is the dissent opinion. So, but now they're saying that they don't understand it. And, when you go to court, that's why they're giving us so many difficult times. Now, people are moving to court to seek interpretation. People are moving to court to look whether was it lawfully or unlawfully. And, we have the legislation body whereby you have to make sure that those stages before it goes to the presidential assent, it is looked, and there is no any wrong with the bill. That's why these members of parliament, I understand that they don't represent the interest of the people. They don't oversight on the will of the people, and they don't legislate on the behalf of the people of Kenya, as it should be as an assembly. Most of them just serve the interest of the boss in that house. So it means that the boss, whenever he has an interest, it must pass through, because he must make sure that he captures that house. That is being dishonest to the people of Kenya. And that one can also tell that we elect leaders who are not, who don't apply their own conscience when it comes to legislation process. It is a disgrace to the country to have such leaders. And that's why we are saying, if they cannot dissolve that parliament, whenever a member of the public get an opportunity to vote for any leader at the ballot, once you walk in the polling station and get that ballot, kindly use your mind. Don't use emotions to bring to us these leaders in parliament. Elect someone who is an effective legislature. Elect someone who understands the role of the parliament, of his role as the parliament.
Okay. Now, Makobura, on the Shashi, based on what we saw the other day on Parliament, where even the members of Parliament, who are supposed to be the legislatures and they're supposed to represent the views of the people, were not even understanding that. And my question to you: when people were being migrated from NHIF to the SHA, there are those who had paid the money and those prepaid. Like you pay in advance. Did they migrate with their money, or where did the money from NHIF went to? And some of them, when
Okay.
they go for treatment, they don't get those. Yet they had some of them had that payment.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ben. The issue of Sha, She, and all these things, it is a topic that is going on in the Republic of Kenya. And anyone in the banking sector, they know how this thing has affected the people. When it comes to the qualification, loan qualification, normally when you want to give a loan, nowadays you have to consider these Sha things. And it has even gotten to a point where if someone may be qualified for a loan of 1 million before the introduction of this shisha,
Yeah.
now it has reduced. They can either get 900 from 1 million. And so it is something which has affected
Now,
the people of Kenya.
that is something that is very new. How does let us know, because I'm getting it for the very first time from you. How
You
does
know,
you get
when
on? It connects with Sha She.
it is being included in the pay slip. And
Mm,
so whenever you're giving a loan, if you're doing the calculation, you'll have to include this as, it's like now a commitment because it is something which is going to be consistent. So if somebody was earning, for example, 30,000,
mm,
they will end up maybe earning like 27 or 28,000
yeah.
on a monthly basis. So it will have to take you back and you will have to look at your spending and try to adjust because it's a reduction of your salary.
Okay.
So it is a story, and those in the sales, especially in those who are working in the banking, the insurance, it is
Mm,
something which has really affected them,
mm,
and it has affected the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya are really crying about it, and my plea is that as much as this amount of money is being deducted, let us hope and believe that it is going to be beneficial to the people of Kenya because it would be so painful that the government want to be deducting all this money and then the people are not getting the service. But that has been the norm, and we can maybe confirm that. I don't really see a good light at the tunnel with this shisha thing because if it was just started the other day and already there are scandals in it, and the most painful bit is that we, the people of Kenya, we who have invested our money, we are not being told the exact thing which has happened. And that tells you how we are being taken for a ride. And we need to relook at all these things. Something else that we need to also know is this issue of every government coming in and then they want to introduce something new. I don't think it's a good thing. It is really a pain. They're really giving a normal Kenyan to like we are being taken for a ride. We are finding it so tough. The people of Kenya are funding and financing new projects, and then another government come in place instead of looking at the challenges of the project. They're also coming with their own project. So you end up you started a project here, you've invested money, the government stops that, they go start another, and the main reason why they're coming up with this is because they want to save on money. They want to, get some leeway, corruption leeways. They want to get some deals. And this is a serious thing. We need to remind the people in leadership. And I hope and believe that the same way the Catholic bishop have started, let us not tire. Let the other religious leaders also come in and remind the government that they should not make the people of Kenya go to this depression that they're taking them. There are serious things that the government need to look into. Things like IEBC are not in place, and these are very essential things that we need as a country. You know, the issue of CBC is not clarified. There was some proposal that the junior secondary are supposed to go in high school. These things are not clarified, and these are lives of our children. These are things that cannot stop. Instead of the government these serious issues, they are concerned about how they can get deals. They are concerned on other projects which are not really directly helpful to the people. You asked me something before I forget. That now that we moved from NHIF to to SHA,
Mhm.
from the clarification that they gave later, sometimes back, they said that they were going to transfer everything plus the details. They said they already have the details, so it is just a migration from one server to the other. We hope and believe that the payments that the people of Kenya had paid would also be considered, because it would be so painful subject a Kenyan citizen to start paying these things afresh.
Okay, thank you so much. Good, I think there was a time back in the, I don't know which show we had with you. It was an evening show, and we talked about inchi ya dili. Kila kitu ni dili, dili, dili. Na uh, leo pia the bishops have talked about making deals. Where it's always about anything to do with the services that Kenyans are going to receive. People has to get a deal. And there was also this video that was going viral about the our athletes uh, um, on the Kenya amputee football team in Germany. That was going viral. Especially it was somewhere in the airport. Actually, the the first media to capture this was not even in our country. It was captured with one of the um, African media, one of the countries in Africa. We did not get it, until yesterday. That is when now it started to trend. And these are people who have gone, if it is true that they were in that state, and these are people that have gone outside the country to go and represent our country. And you see, you watch how they were there lying down over there, and you still want to convince me that the CS for sports is doing a good job. Where is the pride of the country?
The pride of the country is on the deeds.
the
Nchi ya
country,
deed.
inchi ya deal, the pride of the country thrives on deals. That's where the pride
Yeah,
is.
the other time when we were having that show with you, it was on September, and that time is when the issue of Adani came to the public domain about
Mhm.
Adani being taken by the Indians. So that time we were asking ourselves who was the case for infrastructure and transport when those signatures were going on, those meetings. Who was there? He was more common by that time. There was no dissolve of the government when they begin to strike those things are done. And right now we are facing a certain scenario with our athletes who have gone to Germany, and the person who is currently holding that spots is the same CS Murkomen. So we were not wrong to say that deals are going on in the government, and the people like deals, government officials like deals, state officers like deals, and they're just busy making deals whenever they got an opportunity. Like this issue which Marco Bure is trying to explain to us, this Chief Shah. I think the deal is already on. That's why it is not effective. And the reason why people were transferred from NAVE to Chief Shah and it's not working in the hospitals, it means that people do not even wait for long. Once there is a certain proposal, the deals begins immediately. And we are condemning the current CS for sports. They say that when we will be removed sports from infrastructure to sports, it will deliver with the young people and the sportsmen and sportswomen. But what are we seeing is an embarrassing to the state of the Republic of Kenya. And no, we thrive in leads. Most of our men and women have raised our flag so high when it's come to athletes. But now, this is the best we can give them. It means that it has confirmed to you that whatever we said about deals, that's what's happened. That's why I told you that this government, they have succeeded to distract the members of the public to understand that they are on with their deals, they don't care, they are warming up for 2027, and they don't care.
So this is I'm just curious. I'm reading it somewhere, and the Murkomen, the CS has given clarified. clarification. It's a very long clarification, but there are issues that I want to pick with him. That he says that Murkomen clarified that the team was offered accommodation in a special airport launch organized by Lutz, Lufthansa airline, complete with beds to ensure they could rest during the layover, because like the layover was about 13 hours. Since the team members did not hold what certain visas, they were unable to leave the airport. So, what is the role? How do you make sure? Because if I know that my team will be traveling or will be flying from this and this, who should make the itinerary for this for the players and give them what they did, provided with what they need? Yeah, that is one. So does it mean that you just let them, okay, we are going to participate, and everything you just leave it like that, and you don't look at the alternative just in case if something happens? Then Murkomen says Murkomen also noted that the alternative routes through United States were not available due to lack of uh, transit due to lack of transit visas. So, so who are we blaming? Do we blame because the routes were not there, or do we blame the ministry? Because by the time this was happening, were you aware? Because those are some of the things that the logistics. When you have a team is going somewhere, who should provide the logistics and look at the options? What are the options? The layover, when they're going to have layover, who should provide visa? And this is national team. It's not an individual. These are people who are representing the country. Yeah. How do you not make arrangement possible for that? The worst part of it is you are not talking about it until it surfaces on the media. You know, as a good leader, you could come out and say, we are very sorry for the country that this one happened, and it will not repeat itself again. So it means if it could have not come on social media, then it could be something under the carpet. Or what could it be?
I believe that the cabinet secretary for sports, why has he given long response? It was something very simple. Those are things that can tell that he is not honest. And why has he talk now after we have find out what has transpired at Lufthansa? It simply tell you that this year's even is not in the working mood of, because you know the other time who do logistics and the layout, they're being done prior, before even the players leave the country. It's something even done a month ago. Even the bookings of hotels, they're doing it earlier, before, because at the competition there are going to be many countries who are coming. So you must prepare for your players earlier. You look for them better places to be, you look for them better places to eat, better places to play, and also better places to sleep. Because if you don't go earlier, you'll find that those better places are already booked. So it will give you, it will be more of inconvenience. And the NOC, the National Olympic of Kenya, are also responsible to do some logistics. Now, the CS for sports, the buck stops with him. Because that industry, he administer many board members in that docket. Therefore, I believe that before we start blaming the arrangements or whatever, we should look at how long was the event and how long should we prepare as a country. Because that, for instance, let me just give you an example of a World Cup. In case that we are going for a World Cup, maybe in Kenya, if one day it can come to be true, you need to prepare your country earlier. You come to the country, you do survey, you look for better hotels, better playground when they are off, where they will be training. You look for even better food, all that can fit with them. So the question could be, you cannot prepare when you are on transit. You are on transit and you are preparing, you are booking hotel. So it means that even the CS is not factual. The CS should try to write that long story to some people, but not to the public.
I think the best thing that he could have done, accept and say that we are very sorry for Kenyan people for what happened, because like if it could be like and other African countries who are participating also experience the same problem, is understandable. That one we can understand, but this is a case of isolation. It's only one country, yeah. And if you're flying, you're going somewhere, I'm going to have like a 13 hours layover, you know yeah, and that place requires visa. It is not the work of the airline to give you the visa. It's the government to organize for those visas, for especially those who are flying. So I think the explanation, if that is what has been written, is what explanation he has given. But and I think that one, that explanation has failed the test of time. That is not how Kenyans should be treated. You know.
Maybe I just niongeze tu kitu kidogo kwa hayo ambayo ndugu yangu amesema. Mheshimiwa Murkomen, a cabinet secretary, he was sacked not so long ago, and the reasons were very clear. Among the ones that the JC said, particularly directing to the Murkomen, they were saying that Murkomen is first there was an issue with his lifestyle, the lavish lifestyle, whereby he would go to social media and tell the people how he owned very expensive things, and that tells you the person that you are dealing with in that docket. And something that I also wanted to say is that bad political leaders, they commonly exhibit some negative qualities. And these qualities include, but they behave in a way that they know it all attitude, and then most of time failure to accept blames. They also lack empathy. And then there are people who have the ability to foster a positive, a positive environment. So what I'm trying to say here is Murkomen is not displaying leadership qualities. He's been a leader, he's been elected, but I think something got into him. If you remember the words that the current governor of Siaya, when they had problems with the other government, they said that when power gets into your mind, it changes how you think, and it makes you forget so many things that one day this thing can get out of you. And that is one thing that has not gotten into the mind of Cabinet Secretary Murkomen. He's been given the opportunity. Let him accept that opportunity and work for the people of Kenya, because we expect that all these people who are representing the people of Kenya, they are our ambassadors. They need to be given first class, treatment. That whatever happened displays the inability of one Cabinet Secretary Murkomen under his docket, because these are people who are going to represent the Republic of Kenya. The best that we would have expected here is the government does everything in order. The issues of visas and everything was supposed to be realigned. And these are people representing the country. So it was supposed to be done in a way that reflects that the government in power is also an active government that stands for its people, you get. But what we are seeing is actually contrary to our expectation as a people. So the government of Kenya, together with the cabinet secretaries representing the government in different dockets, they've not really done what is right. They've not done justice, especially to our sportmen and women. They've not been treated. This is not the first time. We've actually, any time that you see we are going to represent, these sportmen are going to represent the country. Once they get there, especially outside the country, you will have to hear that there was a problem. And it is so painful. that these cabinet secretaries managing sport, they don't learn. If you remember what was happening when this docket was under Ababu Namwamba,
Yeah.
it was worse. Instead of him coming out to tell the people of Kenya that
Ababu Namwamba tried.
it was this and this.
I think Ababu Namwamba tried. Ababu Namwamba
Yeah,
tried.
Yeah,
Ababu tried. Ababu tried.
Ababu
yes,
tried.
he tried. Yeah, he tried, but not after the people of Kenya came out to tell him what was right and what he needed to do. If you can remember, there was an outcry on how athletes were treated, you know. So they need to learn when they're coming for these dockets, they need to know that they're operating with sportmen. And these people, their productivity is high only when they're given, you know, a good treatment. And the morale fails when they're not given a good treatment. They will get there and then they will, you know, when they start storing those people and then those other sportmen start telling them how they were treated. We are human beings. Someone can think otherwise, and the morale can also fail. So we need to be human enough. That is my take.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's our friend is saying this. I don't know. The bodies in charge should take responsibility. The CS and the ministry did its part. I disagree with you, my friend Godfrey Kinyaru, because let's say, for example, like right now, um, when the government performs, who gets the credit? The president, because he's the head of the state. If the government does not do well, it will go in the history of the president and his administration is not doing well. So if especially our athletes are not being treated well, I think the ministry and the person in charge of that ministry take the responsibility, and that's why he had to come out and explain himself to clear the air about the viral video that was going um, through, because he's been given the mandate, despite the fact that there are so many um, bodies that he is under his ministry. So he's the president, he's the leader in that, he's in the person in charge because he can call out shots. He ought to have known that it is a requirement for them if they're going to have 13 hours flight, they were supposed to go to that hotel and they need visas. His people had to tell him um those bodies, they had to do what we call a logistics, and you come up with a plan and look at what route should we fly, what are the options left for us, then from there he can take action, you know. So if even the bodies slept on the job, that's why on the internet nobody's going for those bodies, people are going for Murkomen himself for failing to take responsibility. So I think he has to bear that responsibility. Yeah, not the bodies. And if at all he wants to bear that responsibility, the fire powers that is given by him, he should fire those who are given the opportunity to do that, because those people have tainted their name. One of the uh, reason that he should be responsible enough, fire those who have made the Kenyan who are representing the country to go through that. So they should be fired. By now, they should be at home. So because I don't believe that we lack so many Kenyans who can do better job. We have them. Is that they've not been given opportunity? I might be wrong, but that's what I think. Like more common should take the responsibility. So maybe if Makobura or Miguda has a different view, but my view is that Murkomen has to take that responsibility.
I also agree.
Can you?
Yeah. Yes, Miguda, go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Sankara.
According to me, I believe that Ababu Namwamba was the right person currently to go on with the projects, because when Murkomen came to be the CS for transport for sport, there are some things that ababu na mambo
Elos.
Kinyoru ametoa nini?
I don't know.
Kinyoru, what happened? Because I'm seeing your comment is out. What happened, mister?
Okay, maybe I can say maybe I can say something on what you just asked. I partly agree with what you said on the issue of responsibility. You know, the cabinet secretary has to be responsible first, because what is viewed outside here is, anybody who saw those people outside Kenya, they will say that these are Kenyans and the president of Kenya is William Samoei Ruto. So all the blame should be taken to the president. And so anybody who is working under the president, be it the cabinet secretaries, they need to be proactive to an extent that they need to do what is right. Under the docket, they need to do a good supervision to ensure that, things like the ones that you are seeing, like when our leaders, when our sportmen are going outside, there are people who are responsible, who are supposed to scout and ensure that everything is in order. So it is those people who slept on their job. And of course, that's a reflection of the whole ministry. And so there's nothing wrong with us saying that the whole ministry slept on their job. And it is also not wrong for us to say that the government of Kenya, because it is the president who has given them the mandate to serve. So if they fail, of course, the whole blame would be under the entire leadership. It would be said that these are Kenyans and the president is William Samoei Ruto, and anything that is negative, of course, would be directed to the leadership.
Okay. I don't know what happened because like Kinyoru comment just disappeared. I don't know whether you deleted it. I was just saying I disagree very respectfully. So I don't know because like I did not delete the message. I just saw the message just
I've not deleted anything. I've also just seen that pop up over there.
yeah. I don't know
So
why.
I don't know whether it's something that can be done under, on his side. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe we should consult to get to know how
Yeah,
that works. I
it-
doesn't have an idea on that.
yeah, because like we are not on the yeah. eh, just I don't know how you can let us know because this message that we are seeing is um because we did not do anything.
Mhm. I don't know whether if you check it on the normal Facebook, it also shows, on the YouTube.
Uh, yeah, it's showing on the YouTube because I can access right now. I can access the YouTube and the Facebook. So anything that happens on the YouTube comments and Facebook, I can see. But like I did not touch anything, but I just saw his comment is not there. So just write something to let us know what has happened. So that if don't look like tumekufanyia ile mambo.
Yeah, but we'll get away before
Yeah, just let us
everything.
know. Just let us know what has really happened to the comment because like we are seeing some messages on that comment that we did not do anything about. So Makubura, I know you are prepared to come to the next show that is coming at 10, you and Miguda, and it's about the issue of this rumor that the Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigiji and let's say like the Gen Z, will they be the best card that could take William Ruto and form new government or make the government change? I don't know whether that one can work. So that is something that is coming at 10. You, Migoda, and I hope Barack will be there too. So you can discuss that and see what are the options. Another thing that also we should look at, because I'm seeing so many people are asking me about, is about Babu Owino. And I think we've discussed Babu Owino like around not more than 4 times. Yeah, we've talked of Babu Owino more than 4 times. And one person was asking me this, and like he wanted to know my view about uh, if Babu Owino will be the next Luo kingpin. And because they say one, at some point, Baba will have to retire because age doesn't allow him. Yeah, because if you compare Baba of 207 and Baba of today, they are quite much. Um, there's a big difference. That is one. And also, this the person was talking about the forces within the ODM, because there's what we call the generational change. And people are talking about generational change. And the generational change is where it's coming from Baba and it goes to Gladys Wanga, Anyang' Nyong'o. And that, can we call that the generational change? That is one. Then now, when you come to the Luo nation, because majority of people, if you go to online, they feel like Babu should be their spokesperson. Now, when you look at the history of Luo as it stands, the somebody out who has been speaking for them has always come from the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga family, especially from independence to where we are. So it has always been under one family, the Odinga. You know, it came from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Then from there it came to Raila. So the question is, will it go to Babu, transcend the kingdom of Odinga to another kingdom? Can Babu inherit that? So that is some of the things that people are asking. And what will make Babu not to inherit? People also were saying that Babu will get the one of the betrayal of the century, especially with where he is, because at no point in time he will be given any position in ODM, and they will not allow him to inherit to be the head of ODM based on his politics views and how he want to carry himself. Because somebody was saying just be, somebody was just saying, because Babu Owino is somebody who negotiate on behalf of his people. Yeah, most of the time he's talking about my people of Embakasi West. His 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 opening remarks has always been his people. He negotiates on his behalf. But when you look at some other politics, that they don't negotiate on their behalf, the kind of politics that some leaders do, they negotiate for them. You know, what what am I going to get? And this is what you look at when the broad-based government came. The people who are given the positions, yet the people of Kenya until today, some people feel that they still don't see that. But Babu, we know when you go to Embakasi, he has been my people of Embakasi. Yeah. So that is a different politics. And will he transcend that and become somebody who can negotiate or be a Luo kingpin that will always negotiate on the behalf of the Luos and say that this is what we are fighting for, this is we want our region, not this is what I want for me to support you. So that is what somebody texted me, and I say like, it is 4 times that we've talked about Babu, and I don't know what you're thinking about that.
Maybe to say something on Babu.
First of all, do you feel we should talk something about Babu because we've done it 4 times?
I think most of the things we've talked about, we've analyzed who Babu is. We've talked about political future, the future political interest. We've talked about possible, union with other political leaders. We've talked about him leaving ODM. So I think we've had a good discussion about him. But if our viewers are still, if it's still a topic of interest, then of course we can get time and do another analysis on it.
Okay. Miguda, what is your thought?
My thought could be, Babu is the future, but there are things that you cannot force. We have to agree that Raila has to leave the stage at one point. He will not be there forever. And who is a potential successor? There are those things which Babu created while he was with Raila. And Raila allowed him to penetrate to his stronghold. That's why Babu has been a point of discussion. And many of our viewers have even so it can tell that Babu is so if it is a subject of interest, and there's that demand from the viewers that we should discuss about Babu, because we have talked about Babu like 4 times, we have said. And now, I think going forward, what we should discuss about Babu, we should just leave whatever we have discussed about him. Let us talk about now, how is he going to take the Luo Kingpin? Because now he has been advocating for the interests of the people of Embakasi East as my people of Embakasi East. And how is he going to link it with the Luo kingship? Let us just consider about taking from Odinga. Let us just talk about general, about how is he going to inherit that Luo, leaving alone the issue of his political life, future alliances. Let's talk about Luo kingship from Odinga to Babu. I think that will also attract our viewers.
Okay. We'll see and organize a time because, and we can find a time and discuss about it. Next week, we will be having again one guest from Jacaranda, and we are working on it. And we are planning to bring all the vocal ones that have been vocals from, we've hosted Songa Songa, we've hosted Mjuku. We are now looking forward, God willing, if we can get Omos Jakababa, if we can get Nuru Okanga, if we can get Wanjala, and many, many more, so that we can hear their views on the process and the political of the country, and what is their vision and mission, especially when they are there at Jacaranda. Are they politicians or they are doing political activism? So we will be having them here, yeah, until we are done with them. Then from there, we will also move to the Jivanji Gardens. We are trying to find also some members of Jivanji Gardens, especially those from there are comrades. Yeah, they are most of from the university students. And, and from there, we will try. Then we will, I think Kisumu, we've done one. Nairobi, we've done like two now. Um, then we will also move to Nakuru, and then try to get all the 47 counties, the bunge la wananchi of all the 47 counties. So that is what we are doing, and we want to know. Then from there, we can um, make our conclusion. Because, like yesterday, if you're very keen enough, my brothers, um, Mjukuu wa Bunduki said something that when people are going for mandamano, you get almost 50,000. Not 50,000, sorry, 50 shillings, sorry. 50 shillings. Yeah, because like they say, like they call you, they have like 30,000, then they call you, they baada ya maandamano ukipiga hiyo namba unapata kama hiyo namba iendi through, but we umeenda, at the end of the day ni shilingi ngapi? 50. And just think of it, when you see the chaos at the forefront during the maandamano on how even they interact with the police. You know, can you just lose your life at some point because of 50 shillings? Yeah. So that is something new that we got yesterday. So it tells you maybe some of this maandamano, some people are not going because they want to go, but some people are going because they've been paid as small as 50 shillings. That is based on his what he said here. 50 shillings. Can you do that for only 50 shillings?
Hizo ni za ndani, zile ambaye zilifichika, hatukuwa
Na
tunajua.
ndani hatukukuwa tunajua, na unapata kwamba hata hiyo kuenda ni kwamba lazima mtu akupigie, lazima mtaenda. Sasa unashindwa, na watu ambao wanafanya hivi ni maviongozi. Sasa unashindwa, badala ndio hiyo kwamba tunasema okay, it is within your right and the constitution of Kenya allows you for picketing, but you should not be paid to picket. You should do it if you have a reason. There must be a reason too. If you feel like the presidency is not doing something that is very right, go through the channels that are required. Go to the police, inform the police that we will be having a protest, and these are places that we are going to go. Very big. But like a situation whereby your intention is not to go, then you're being given some money. I did not know about that until yesterday when we had discussion, and we learned more. There were so much information in those two interviews. If you're very keen enough, there was so much that came from those interviews. Yeah, and it tells you the leadership and the constituents and everything about that surrounds the picketing. Yeah, so that is something. So next week we will be having Wanjala. We are reaching out to Wanjala. Wanjala, if you remember Wanjala was one of those who said, I quote, "These members of parliament are stupid." Remember the bombers. We are working on his. We will bring him on the show. We can also hear his side of the story. You get his side of the story. Why did he have to say that? Yeah, and what was the aftermath after saying that? Yeah, so we will be getting a lot from Bungelaja, from Bungela Wananchi. So when we are done with the Nairobi chapter, we will try and look for Nakuru chapter, Migori chapter, and to listen to their views on their take on the politics and how do they want to change the narrative, or is all um, about also something also we talked about was about the respect for the presidency and the insults, and he was very categorical. I say, okay, there's those political words that we can use, but there's a limit. Mhm. Yeah, so maybe if you have something, Makobura and Miguda, before we close down the show.
Okay. I wanted to say that, this country belongs to us. It is us who need to ensure that we take care of this country, taking care of it in a way that, first, we ensure that we respect the people who are living within this country. When we are given the opportunity to lead, what we are supposed to do is first to respect the people and to listen to them. And whatever decision we are making, which involves leadership, we need to go back and listen to what the people say. As much as we understand that leaders sometimes have to make very tough decisions, and when making those tough decisions, they have to incorporate the views of the people. And so what I'm trying to say here is that we need to be very observant as a people, and we need to ensure that we listen to the people, we care for the people. When given the opportunity to lead, let us just do what is right. Let us have the empathy. Let us remember that sometimes we might get out of those positions. And if someone gets in, of course, we should try to remember and to think how we will want them to treat us. That is the most important bit that we need to look into, and we have to care for one another by ensuring that we do what is right. That is my take before we close. Maybe Mgoda can give his take and then we close.
I just wanted to say something about this issue of CS for sports. And this is why I said that Ababu Mwamba was the best person as for now. When Ababu Namba took that docket, he came with some creativity, the docket, and also introduced the issue of Talanta Hela. And Talanta Hela was an initiative whereby they could go to Mashinani, identify talents, and also nourish it to the national.
I don't know whether you've dropped. I can't.
And to the international level. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are now back. Kindly proceed.
Yeah, I'm saying some of the young talent people like Adeline were identified during the soccer of the high school, secondary school students, and some were taken to train in Spain, some were taken to Barcelona Academy, some few, and also it was an initiative where even girls were being nourished. So it means that Atlanta Ella initiative was there to make sure that the people who have been identified talents in the Mashinani are nourished at national level and international level. Secondly, even the Atlanta Hela Stadium, the ongoing at Gong on the way to Gong Road, that stadium, those were some of the things that Ababu Namamba tried to bring out. Now, when Murkomen came to power in this docket, he ought to have gone on with the implementation of what the previous years was doing to boost the sports industry in the country. So, to my view, we have not gotten the right person to hold that docket as this is for the transport. Bye bye to our viewers. See you next time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Mr. Brother Benson, for also coming. To our viewers, we really acknowledge your presence and your contribution to this channel, Gypsy Corner. Thank you so much. Kwach Motokubwa, asante sana. Eric Ayaga, asante sana. Judith Karitha, asante sana. To Kennedy Sankara, asante sana. To Godfrey Kenyoru, I don't know what really happened. We are looking into that and we'll sort it as soon as we can. Kindly, we'll get back with we are trying to look at what happened because we just saw that your comments just went and we are being told here that it's, I don't know. We'll look into that and hopefully we'll clarify what happened and we'll ensure that we bring you back. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best, our viewers, and for you who commented, thank you so much. And may God bless you. Thank you and have a good evening.